Hey everyone, welcome back and thanks for joining me for another episode of this FIFA 15 Super League with Manchester United. Now, if you remember a couple of episodes ago, it was announced that Vidal would be looking to leave Juventus in the next transfer window. Well, that transfer window is now open. I had a look at Vidal, I inquired about him. Juventus were looking for £47 million and it's totally out of my budget range. I've only got just under 10 million to spend in January and I didn't really want to be swapping out players at such a crucial time in this season. And I know a lot of you folks were saying, get Vidal, sign him, you need him in the team. I'm just not going to be able to pull off that signature. I did, however, put in an offer of 5.5 million for Monaco's Jeffrey Kondogbia. It was accepted. They were willing to let him go at such a crucial time in the season in January, and he's now part of the Manchester United outfit now for the rest of this season. And of course there were offers as well for David De Gea from PSG, and that was to be expected with the amazing performances he's put in so far this season. Now heading into our next game at the Nou Camp against Barcelona with just 18 games to go of the season. It's gone so quickly, I know. Manchester United were currently trailing the league leaders Real Madrid by 7 points. They opened that gap after they beat us 1-0 at the Santiago Bernabeu in the previous episode. And then our poor form decided to carry on over to our next game after that, away against Dortmund, where we conceded 2 goals in the dying embers of that game, where I thought maybe we deserved just a little something from it, but we came out with nothing. We dropped 6 points in 2 games. Certainly not good enough, and it certainly allowed Chelsea to then catch up, and they're now a point above us. And things wouldn't get any easier there for Manchester United, as their next challenge would be a week later at the Nou Camp against Barcelona. We've had 3 away games now on the bounce. When are we ever going to be returning to Old Trafford? It was getting a bit frustrating because I feel as though our best performances, well, they definitely come from playing at home. Of course they do. But at least all my players were fully fit for this game. The last time out against Barcelona, it was one of the first couple of games we played at the start of this Super League, and it ended 0-0 at Old Trafford. It was a very tight game, although we did get the better of chances. Probably could have maybe won 1-0, scraped a 1-0 win there, but it just wasn't to be. Barcelona very tight at the back, and I expected the same, if not more, tenfold in this one at the Nou Camp. This game, it had to be treated like a cup final. I knew that if we wanted to get a result from this, we had to really take the challenge to Barcelona. And I think we caught them off guard numerous times. You can see here with the attack by Di Maria. Yes, he was taken to ground, but it was the fact that we was getting the ball into Barcelona's penalty area. We were putting them under pressure to clear that danger, and I was hoping that maybe somewhere down the line they would slip up, make a small mistake, which would allow players like Rooney and Di Maria to get in there and make them pay for that costly mistake. And in the 21st minute, Angel Di Maria switched over to his left foot down that right side, whipped in, perfectly delivered cross. I would say the cross was better than the goal. He found Rooney's head perfectly, and it was Rooney that headed that past their keeper, making it 1-0 to Manchester United. Couldn't have asked for a better start to this game against Barcelona. The goal certainly aggravated them. It certainly got under their skin. There was a shift in momentum, and the ball was certainly in Manchester United's penalty area a lot more than it was within that first 20 minutes. And also throughout that first half, I thought it was a bit odd that Messi was switching from the left and the right flanks, and I know he can play there, but I would have thought it would have been more beneficial for Barcelona if he was operating in a more central sort of position, whether up front or just behind the striker. Maybe they could have sacrificed Rakitic and had Messi in his position, and maybe bring in Pedro, who started this game on the bench. It was absolute madness, and before Barca knew it, they were trailing the game by 2 goals to Manchester United. The goal coming from Juan Mata, and it was just such a simple finish, and it's so good to see the Nou Camp completely quiet apart from the Manchester United fans. Di Maria did exceptionally well to fend off 3 Barcelona players who were trying to steal the ball away from him, who crossed it in, and it was just such a simple but yet satisfying finish from Juan Mata, and it just goes to show how comfortable he is on the ball. And we were almost on for a third against Barcelona. We were tearing apart their back 4. but Di Maria just couldn't come up with the final product, just couldn't plant that ball into the back of the net. I was being a bit cocky going for the finesse shot, and it did cost us there, but to be 2-0 up against Barcelona at the Nou Camp at half-time, couldn't have asked for a better half there, folks. We were certainly showing the rest of the league what we're capable of and proving that we can compete against the likes of Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and I certainly do look forward to when we face Real Madrid again at Old Trafford for the last time this season. It'll probably be maybe the title decider come March time. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Not too much happened in the second half here against Barcelona. They were looking for a penalty, trying to get back into this game as desperately as possible. Messi going down in the penalty area there after that header from Chris Smalling, obviously towering over him. But there was no penalty given. The referee had a very good game, if you ask me. And David De Gea managed to keep that clean sheet against Barcelona. We did beat Barca 2-0 in the end. United finally got theirs. You know, playing Barcelona was one of the first games of this Super League season back at Old Trafford, where it ended 0-0 in a game where I thought we could have picked up all 3 points, but it ended as a draw. We came away with just a point, but we finally beaten them at the Nou Camp as well. It doesn't get any better than that. And of course, heading into our next game, I was full of confidence. We were back at Old Trafford against Benfica in another crucial game. And this is what it's going to be now for the second half of this season. Crucial game after crucial game. As you just saw with the league table heading into this, we were third, Benfica were fourth, level on points. We needed a win here to pull away from them and of course to keep up that challenge with Chelsea and Real Madrid. Last time out against Benfica, Manchester United came up short in a very tight game away from home where we did lose 1-0 with that late-ish winner from Jonas, who was starting this game. My starting lineup consisted of De Gea in goal. I had Alves, Smalling, Jones and Rojo at the back. Gundogan came in to start this game with Fellaini and Herrera, and of course at front I had Di Maria, Rooney and Memphis Depay. A win had to be on the cards for Manchester United. Returning home after being away for 3 games, we just had to come back and get back to winning ways, basically, because things haven't been going well. You can see with Benfica's lineup pretty much the same sort of side that they fielded the last time we played them, apart from Pizzi started the game on the bench for this game. Now with half an hour gone of the game, Manchester United of course were firing on all cylinders, as we've so often seen in real life as well when they've returned back home after being away for such a long time. That home advantage certainly coming into play, and you can see how well we were pressing Benfica, how we were pinning them back, and Gundogan did so well to pick out that little bit of space available to Wayne Rooney, but it was Rooney that let me down as he just failed to recognise what Gundogan was thinking to get himself in that space to have a shot on goal. Who knows, it could have been 1-0 by then. But as always, Rooney didn't let that get to him too much. There was still plenty of time to get our nose in front at Old Trafford. You can see he had a chance there, well on target with his left foot. He got a second chance as the ball fell to Fellaini, who passed it back to Rooney, who was in space, volleyed it on the left foot. But it was Jardel just getting a crucial touch off his knee there, going in between his legs almost to knock the ball off course as it was definitely going to be on target. Rooney had another chance moments later with that volley. You could see how he had like an extra spring in his step, how he volleyed that, and you could see the dip in the ball coming at such a vicious speed. And it just hit the side net, and it wasn't enough to get it around Julio Cesar to get that crucial opening goal before half-time, but it just wasn't to be, and both Manchester United and Benfica went in all level, so it was all still to play for in the second half, and Jonas and Lima started to come together like they did in that previous fixture at their home ground back in Portugal. Lima getting a good effective shot on target. Look how low down De Gea had to stretch to stop that ball from reaching the back of the net. Just after the hour mark, I was getting a bit agitated because we hadn't scored. We hadn't got ourselves in the lead. We weren't doing what we were supposed to do, what I planned to do going into this game, and it was Benfica that were pulling all the strings in the second half, unfortunately. No wonder that they are battling out for top 4 at the moment, Benfica. They were sensational in this game. Dani Alves whipped in that cross into the box. It was Falcao that headed it back towards Memphis Depay just outside the 6-yard area. He went for something spectacular in a bicycle kick, and yeah, it was terrible in the end. The finishing product, just not good enough. Depay kept going though, just like Rooney in the first half, trying to get that first goal of the game, and what would probably prove to be the only goal of the game. But again, their defenders were so tightly packed. They showed great organisation, and they stopped us from scoring at Old Trafford. It hasn't really happened this season. I've managed to at least get a goal or two at Old Trafford in the Super League, but we couldn't against Benfica. So once again, Manchester United dropped points in a game that was winnable, especially on our return to Old Trafford after being away for 3 games. It's not good enough, and things definitely need to change. We need to start winning again if we want any chance of winning this season's FIFA 15 Super League. That's it for this episode then, guys. That's all from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon for the next one.